All right, you want to speak on Lil Rock and Lil Ripper?
Yeah, in the last episode, man, I smoke a lot of weed, so I'll be forgetting things here and there. But most definitely, Lil Rock is original general off Brynhurst. The homie Lil Ripper, he's day one off Brynhurst. The homie Big Ice down off 67, man. The homie Big Ice, man, that's another homie, day one off Brynhurst. Them just mentions I forgot.
Yeah, man, video. Open your soul, represent your ghetto. Hold up. For the dime moves and the lokes, for the 6-4s on spokes, for the OGs that did a dime, came back around on parole, for the homegirls with the scrap game, little homies that gang bang, from Pelican Bay to YA, rearrange your mind frame. Yeah, I know what you've been through, shit you had to go tend to. Your mama gave birth on the turf, I know them killers you kin to. This for the lost generation, broke as hell, mad and impatient. But if you know your history, you can't have a strong foundation, baby.
When you say BG, you talking about from 60th Street to Florence Avenue?
Yeah, like I say, back then, man, it was just from there to Florence, man. That's when the slums was popping. That's when the blacks had it. Man, I don't know if you ever experienced the slums, but Two-Tone used to stay in the slums. So we'd go down there and get Two-Tone and come back up to St. John's to play baseball. But there used to be a lot of blacks and a few little bloods to stay in the slums. I was young. We used to squabble them and shit, you know what I mean? But, Two-Tone stayed in the slums back then. It was all blacks and love then.
I ain't beefing on the net, nigga, get at me. I ain't texting back to back, nigga, get at me.
So did you grow up with any F-13s?
I knew a couple of them. A couple of them stayed by, I forgot a couple of them, but I didn't do business with them once, got a little older, but not on my part. It wasn't nothing down there off 60th.
So you didn't grow up playing with no Mexicans?
No, not at all. Just the one next door to me. He was half. Yeah, no, he wasn't gang banging at all.
You said you want to talk about Rays on BG laced in the fronts. Pure love for your big homies.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about Kim Bone, Stone, the Dogs, the Mumbles, Lil Mumbles, Big J Stone, Spook, Phantom, shit, Keith Rat, the homie, you know what I mean? Who else up there? Let Loose, you know what I mean? Lil Let Loose. It just come from going to school, you know what I mean? Like, I was raised on BG and laced in the front. I mean, laced in the front on the history, hell yeah, about the gang banging and just being with Kim Bone and seeing different niggas and showing me, yeah, hell yeah, I got a lot of history in the front, for sure that, yeah.
You said you want to speak more on Lil Looney.
Yeah, Earl, man, that was my homeboy, man, yeah, he always was banging, that was just my homeboy. I loved him, just walking, he had that stroll. Lil Looney, he was probably him, Kid, and Crip Cal, and Banker, they had them strolls, you see him coming, you know what I mean? And it was always a pleasure. He was just cool with me, man, just always, you know what I mean? And like I said, I had that view. I could always see him when they come down the hill, you know what I mean? And, him, PJ, you know what I mean? All them Greg, they always come on the block. Nut, Wait, they're my people, man, that's fam.
What was the relationship between BG and the back hood when you was a kid?
Well, shit, BG is the back hood. It's just always been us, you know what I mean? Just from day one, just growing up, just the bond we had as far as family, another thing, like I say, Big Milky and them, they out the hills, but Milky used to be on BG. That's like our big bro, that's another homie we looked up to. So it was always like that, Cal and them coming down there. I guess, because y'all was all residential, man. Y'all, used to come down there on our blocks. We had the block, man. So everybody in the hills is on the block, man. That's where it was at, man. You know what I mean? Especially when you wanted to get some money. You know what I mean?
Was you home when Lil Maniac got killed?
Yep, that's right before I started going to camp. When I went to camp, the second time when I was going to camp, I went to Mariloma right after he got killed, right down the street, across the street from our little insane house.
What other homies you remember died on BG?
Petey Wheatstraw, right there on 63rd. Lil Maniac. Man, it wasn't too many when I was coming up, man, because, we was thick, man. I'm trying to think. Now, I heard of some other little youngsters. I done heard some stories since I've been gone, but, I was gone. I did 10 years and a half in Oklahoma. So a few people died up on the blocks through there. But when I was coming up, man, just really Greg and Petey Weestraw, if I can recall.
What's the story behind the name Creep? Big Creep, Lil Creep, Baby Creep, Tiny Creep.
Well, Big Creep is a little K-Dog. You know what I mean? How I met him is again, Big K-Dog and Lil Fee used to be buddies with a dude named Daryl Kelly that stayed on my block. Daryl didn't really bang, but they went to school together. Like I said, they was all older than me. So again, you know, like I said, they'd come on the block. I've been knowing Fee, him and Daryl and them from when they used to steal the donuts out the donut thing on Florence, the hostess and stuff. You know, they went to school together. It's from 7th grade, they was buddies, and that's how I used to meet a lot of homies. And once I went to Horseman, I'm in the fronts. I got to come back. So I'm hanging, I'm hanging with Stone and them. I always had the name Romeo. I didn't have an official name. So one day, look, man, that's when the homies had all the Spanish names, like Night Owl. And that's when all them broke up. Sleepy.
Local.
Spooky was Spookbeto, you know what I mean? So that's when the Spanish name came, and I just took that name and ran with it, you know what I mean?
You said Stone. What Stone you talking about?
Big J Stone.
Big J.
Yeah, I used to cut his mama yards and stuff, man. You know, I went to junior high. Stone, he was telling me, man, I was trying to find that picture. When I seen him, he was like, man, I went to court with you, man, when you first caught your case. So, I was like big bro, man. I used to get a lot of game from them, man, for real. It was a pleasure.
Was you in 4800 when the 60s and Comptons went at it?
Yeah, I was in there. Happened to be, yeah.
What happened, man? Tell me from a 60 point of view.
Oh, man, it was, I was 18 years old. I just got there, so I was young. And it was only like probably 8 homies in the whole module. It was me, Peanut, Lil Shyster, we was in the cell, and Petey Wack, Eddie Boy, and Lil Let Loose was next door. The homie Baby Rock was down the hall with the Comptons, with a lot of Compton, by himself. And one of the homies was downstairs. I don't want to mention his name. He had did some shit that we didn't know about. We didn't know about it, and it had transpired. Like I seen the play, but I guess the dude that had something done to him. He had a cousin that was a trustee from Park Village, and about 2 in the morning, we seen the Park Village dude come down. We was playing spades, and he came down the tier, and he told this dude from Compton that was kind of calling shots. He told us when we got to the hole what he told him, but the dude was kind of like a hater because we was on deck then, man. All the homies was on deck, man. Like going and visiting, we had it in there. Dice, Wack had been in there like 6 years, so we having smoke out. And this particular dude, he used to be trying to gamble us and losing his money. I used to break him a couple times. I was a young nigga. He'd come to the cell and gamble, and so he kind of was hating how we was doing it. We wasn't as deep as him. So when dude told him about what happened with his cousin, he told the dude, and the dude took it upon himself to diss the hood real late, about 3 in the morning. Just diss the hood, you know what I mean? And we dissed back and shit, it was on. That's 4800, that's when I learned how to make knives. You have to grow up quick. Right after that, Mac, you have to learn a lot of things real quick. So we had to make knives and vests and get strapped up for when the gates rack. And like I say, man, just lucky, man, the way that place is built, how narrow it is, and how many of them it was, and the way we put our backs to the thing and stayed down. Didn't nobody come out too hurt, but it went down. It was some knife play for sure.
Big Cat wasn't in there?
Nah, Big Cat wasn't in there with me.
So what position did the 30s and the East Coast take?
In that thing, man?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll never forget, man. They didn't really have no position because they was downstairs, and I remember the homie had shot a kite down, man, to one of the homies from 30s asking for some knives, and they didn't send them knives up. I remember that vividly. That's why we had to make some, but they couldn't do nothing. They was downstairs. It was just us, the East Coasters, and the Comptons on that whole tier. Comptons was about 50, 60 deep. We was about 8 deep. And I had a couple little partners from Compton, from Y. Yeah, we talked about that the other day with one of my dudes. And, I tracked down my guy D-Dog. We talked about that the other day, man. That wasn't cool, and especially what it was about. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. A lot of this stuff, man, I want to reiterate on that. A lot of these old wars, man, I couldn't find out wasn't even about what it was about. You know what I mean? So I don't know how that played. I just wish niggas can go back on the round table and discuss that, because I heard like for what we had war with the A-Trays, Chico from A-Tray told me he was there. He said they homeboys didn't do that. They meant that, like they homeboys didn't do that. So if somebody, I just don't know how that is. We've been warring for years and they adamant like it wasn't them that even killed the homie, but it's been going on and a lot of lives lost, man. I just hope we can get to the bottom of that one day.
Yeah, behind the scenes, I'm sure you probably can talk to rivals too. Motherfuckers get along behind the scenes.
Yeah, man.
Just as a whole,
I see that.
We haven't been able to pull it together yet.
I wish I would have been more abreast of that earlier in my career, man. I was just pushing the line so much I wouldn't even really mess with nobody like that was from the opposite set. But now, I have a better understanding.
All right, you said I got to ask you about when you and Banker went to the enemy module. Supposed to meet up with Crazy D.
Oh yeah, that was kind of I don't know how to explain it, but it was kind of defining. It was a defining moment as far as getting some understanding, because there was a lot going on at that time and
with the A-Tray gangsters.
Yeah, in the module and on the street. That's when D and them was fighting their case. They had the case. They had the mod. They had the 21, 23. So they had two modules. They had it on lockdown there, literally. Like, you know what I mean? I done heard some stories where D and them stripped the whole road, made them get butt naked, looking for, they was kind of like that. Like, y'all got to strip down. We missing some money. So they was pressing their line down there, and what had happened was Crazy D came down to our module one day with I'll never forget his name, Sergeant, dude named Rodriguez. He was a police that worked in the county. Because I had the cell where you can come out. So I used to always be on the phone. So I'm right there on the phone. This is right before Swanee got out and got shot, because he still had his sight then. And Crazy D and them come up to the gate with the police. And I'm on the phone. And, homies was getting stabbed at visiting. So what he was basically saying is, the police was gonna let us get out one-on-one with whoever we want to get out with in the little hallway by the shower. So he came down there to let us know, like, man, just stop all this woofing, whoever want to get out with any of my homies, and just let us know. Swanee I want to fight 3 of your homies. So basically I had told him, I want to get out with you. I was a young dude. I would have, Crazy D had that rep. I told him, man, me and you can get out. So that was a setup, you know what I mean? So I was like, told all the homies, man, we supposed to get out. But it kind of never transpired for like 2 months. So homies are still woofing and getting stabbed and visiting. So one day, the sergeant of OSS come to our module, like, man, we about to have a meeting down the hall. So we got like 7 of us out of 27. And he took us down to 21, 23. If anybody was live in there, they know what happened in it. So we go upstairs and, we go up there first. I'm thinking it's going to be a meeting. Mac with donuts. I'm waiting on to bring the coffee jugs in. I'm sitting there like on the table like, where the coffee and donuts at? All I'm seeing is enemies coming in, different niggas, because they had 2 modules.